Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. Great news from Buffalo as Damar Hamlin is released from the hospital and will now continue his recovery from home. The Buffalo Bills making the announcement through social media today. Hamlin's doctors say they're confident he can continue his rehab from home and with members of Buffalo Bills medical staff. And as our Maggie Hall reports, once he gets home, Damar will have a stack of cards from a second grade class right here in the Southern Tier to cheer him up.
It was on January 2nd when Bills safety Damar Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest during a game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Elmira second grader Cece Telch was watching the Bills game with her parents when the medical emergency happened. The next day, Cece went into school with an idea to lift Hamlin's spirits.
I said, Miss Baby C, can we please make some cards? Because I saw number 3 got hurt. So I wanted to make some cards for him so he could feel better.
Cece's entire class made cards for number 3, which were mailed out on Monday by Cece's mom, Jill.
She asked me if I could mail them to Damar and to make sure that he got them, that they did them during class, and she was so excited. And she showed me each one of them, told me who it was from, read it, and they were so cute.
I asked Cece how she thinks Damar will react to the cards.
I think he would like the cards, and I think he would be really happy.
I also asked Cece if number 3 was standing right in front of her, what would she say to him?
I would say, did you like the cards in Go Bills?
Cece's school is doing a kindness month for January, and I think we can all agree that hers absolutely fits the bill. Go Bills! Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Corning.
An Elmira man, Maddox J. Burgess, has been indicted on over 30 weapons charges. Police say Burgess was in possession of 8 AR semi-automatic rifles and numerous magazines. He was also indicted on 2 counts of supporting a sexual performance by a child and 3 counts of possessing a sexual performance by a child. He's currently in police custody. An Elmira man arrested for allegedly stealing a car and stripping it for parts from a high school parking lot. 23-year-old Alex Amick has been charged for stealing a car from the Elmira High School parking lot back in December. An investigation by the Chemung County Sheriff's Department determined that Amick was in possession of the stolen vehicle and had disassembled it for parts and scrap. Amick will appear in the town of Southport Court at a later date. Elmira Heights police officers are investigating a card skimming device that was found at a gas station pump in the village. The card skimmer was attached to a pump at the Speedway station on College Avenue. Card skimmers are devices that attach to card readers and can steal the information off your card and put it in the hands of scammers. Anyone with information about this case is encouraged to contact EHPD. Governor Hochul announcing several new initiatives to boost farming and benefit farmers in the Excelsior state. One of them will use state purchasing power to boost demand for agricultural products. State agency purchasing of local food products will increase to 30%. New York State currently spends almost $4 million on New York food. This will increase to nearly $400 million worth of local food. Fitness centers across the Twin Tiers see a rise in business at the start of the new year. Big Fox's Josh Feldberg went to a local gym to discuss the popular New Year's resolution.
Fitness goals are the most common New Year's resolutions according to studies across the United States. It's been nearly 2 weeks since the start of the new year, and more than 50% of people will break their resolutions by January 15th. Big Fox spoke with Journey Fitness about what they see following the holiday season.
People are out the game, you know, they're spending time with the family, so when it comes to January 1st, it's like that, all right, let's get refocused. So that's why you see that the resolutions are at that point. It's a new year, new beginning, let's start all over again, or just, you know, capitalize off what we did in the previous year, right?
Journey employs unique methods to fight off the lack of motivation some members may begin to feel.
With Journey, we pride ourselves on holding people accountable, motivation. We do weekly weigh-ins. We try to keep in contact with our coach, our clientele, our members as much as possible through text messages, even here. We know all members on a first-name basis, any limitations they might have. So again, it's very personal.
The close connection between the coaches and members is a big part of helping people reach their fitness goals.
The coaches, for sure. I feel like definitely they keep in contact with you if you don't show up for a couple days. They text you and ask you where you are. So it's basically like they are holding us accountable for coming.
To start becoming more regular, because it was hit or miss for me, but now I'm trying to do at least 3 days a week. So that's what I'm trying to do. It's like you don't have to do it all in, the first month. You just gradually get into working out.
Regardless of what your New Year's resolution was this year, finding people who can support and motivate you is one way to help get it across the line. Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Corning.
President Biden weighing in for the first time on the discovery of potentially classified documents in an office that he used after serving as vice president. Lucas Tomlinson reports from Washington that Congress is also now getting involved.
The top Republican on the House Intelligence Committee wants a damage assessment of the documents to see if there's any potential national security risks. Meanwhile, the president says he was surprised to learn these documents existed.
I've turned over the boxes. They've turned over the boxes to the archives.
President Biden making his first public comments about the documents discovered in his former Washington office during a summit with the leaders of Mexico and Canada.
People know I take classified documents and classified information seriously. But I don't know what's in the documents. My lawyers have not suggested I ask what documents they were.
Democrats also reacted to the news on Capitol Hill.
This is Republican hypocrisy at its finest.
I know this is an emerging issue. It's been referred to the DOJ.
We see no evidence of deliberate intent or obstruction of justice as we see in the case of Donald Trump.
The top Republican on the House Intel Committee wants the intelligence community to conduct a damage assessment of the potentially classified documents, similar to the one California Democrat Adam Schiff requested for the documents found at former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. Chairman Mike Turner writing, quote, I write to request an immediate review and damage assessment following numerous reports that then Vice President Biden removed and then retained highly classified information at an undisclosed and unsecure non-government office in Washington. The new Republican chairman of the House Oversight Committee says there will be hearings.
We're just asking for equal treatment here. We're just asking that the Department of Justice treat Joe Biden in the same manner they treated Donald Trump.
The classified documents were discovered 6 days before the midterm elections, but not revealed publicly until Monday. The White House has not said why it took so long for this information to be made public. In Washington, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
Republican leaders in New York call for GOP Representative George Santos to resign. Several ongoing investigations are centered on Santos's personal and campaign finances and lies about his resume and family heritage. Nassau County Republican Party Chairman Joseph Cairo had harsh words for Santos.
He has no place in the Nassau County Republican Committee, nor should he serve in public service, nor as an elected official. He's not welcome here at Republican headquarters for meetings or at any of our events. As I said, he's disgraced the House of Representatives, and we do not consider him one of our congresspeople. Today, on behalf of the Nassau County Republican Committee, I am calling for his immediate resignation.
The local party has no mechanism to remove Santos from office. So far, Santos has refused to resign. Your midweek forecast is coming up. Plus this.
Below average snowfall and unusually high temperatures are spelling trouble for some ski and snowplow businesses. I'm Marianne Rafferty. I've got details coming up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
As we step throughout our Wednesday forecast, we kept those temperatures on a more mild note into the 40s. However, we were underneath those overcast skies, restricting some of the warming. But note that we are heading into a pretty active 24 to 48 hour time period. Now, we'll note that through the overnight, that forecast shows that we have some precipitation possible as we head into those morning hours. So as you step out the door tomorrow morning, you may want to grab the umbrella. However, it looks like our region is going to see the lightest of this precipitation. But do note that with temperatures
temperatures just near that freezing mark, there could be a few hours of some wintry mix or even some freezing rain possible. So keep yourself aware of some slick surfaces to start the day. But then throughout much of our Thursday, we are going to stay underneath some of those spotty showers. Also know that there will be some stronger winds as a few frontal systems in the low will be working its way right through the region. And then there will be a cooler side of the system, which means that another round of some mixed precipitation into Friday will be possible, where there may even be some light snowfall accumulations, and then cooler temperatures will hang on to our Saturday, but not noting cold temperatures, as really when we cool down into Saturday, we're talking about more seasonable sunshine around that will hold on through the end of the weekend before more active weather will be around next week. Now, as we roll into that Thursday forecast, note that we're underneath the chance for those showers throughout the day, warming into those mid-40s. So similar temperatures to what we were experiencing today, just battling some times of some hit or miss rainfall. Now, we'll hit that 44-degree threshold, but note those winds out of the southeast will continue to be strengthening, and we'll see some stronger wind gusts. So as we roll through that forecast again, note there's a little bit of some areas of that pink popping up, meaning that some freezing rain is possible, even noting that there is some light snow shower accumulation due to that earlier arrival here with this first wave into Thursday morning. And then as we step through Thursday afternoon, again, spotty showers, nothing looking to bring any significant accumulation until potentially overnight, where there could be a pocket of some moderate showers, but most of the heavier rainfall remains closer to that Great Lakes region before we'll head into Friday morning, where some cooler air moves in and there'll be some slight snowfall accumulation. So as we look at when it comes to icing, pretty minimal accumulation, but you see that there is a possibility, at least there early again Thursday morning. Then we turn to the warm sector, which brings us anywhere from about 1/4 of an inch to some isolated areas getting upwards of 1/2 an inch of rainfall in some of those moderate pockets. And then we turn to snowfall. So really all precipitation types are possible. Now, temperature wise here, we note that we have those upper 30s for high temperatures into our Friday. So that will be really the warmest temperature that occurs early in the day, and then temperatures will continue to cool as we do drop even down to those lower 20s by Saturday morning. A few flurries linger on Saturday with some lake effect snowfall out west, but then we should see some sunshine by the end of the day, high of 29 degrees. Then we keep that seasonable sunshine with a high of 35 on Sunday, and then we'll watch for more warming as well as more wet weather next week.
Wells Fargo scales back on its mortgage business. Spirit Airlines pilots have approved a new contract, and Disney makes changes to the way they run their theme parks. CJ Papa has today's business briefs.
Wells Fargo will be pulling back in its home lending operations. The bank has been dealing with years of investigations and a record fine from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. It will be focusing on existing mortgage customers and minority borrowers. The Airline Pilots Association, which represents pilots at Spirit Airlines, says 69% of Spirit's pilots voted in favor of the new collective bargaining agreement. The 2-year deal represents an economic gain of $463 million, or 27%, over the next 2 years with zero concessions. However, if the merger with JetBlue Airways does not gain regulatory approval or is otherwise abandoned, the pilots reserve the right to re-enter contract negotiations with management. The new agreement is effective retroactively January 1st, 2023. And devoted Walt Disney World fans are rejoicing after their favorite theme park announced their plan to change its requirement for park reservations for its annual pass holders. Under the new rules, annual pass holders on Monday through Friday will be able to go to the theme parks after 2 p.m. without holding a reservation. On weekends, pass holders will still be required to plan ahead and get a reservation for Disney World's most popular park, the Magic Kingdom. That's business. I'm CJ Papa.
The IRS has sent out delayed tax refunds to 12 million Americans. The agency also gave out benefits to correct for an allowed unemployment tax break. The payments came as a result of the American Rescue Plan Act, which waived federal taxes on up to $10,200 in 2020 unemployment benefits. That bill didn't get signed into law until March of 2021, and many had already filed their tax returns. The average refund check is about $1,232. A record number of Americans have quit their jobs since 2021, and the Great Resignation shows no signs of stopping anytime soon. New data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that by November of 2021, nearly 48 million Americans had quit their jobs. That's up from the previous record of 42 million in 2019. and 4.2 million Americans left their jobs in November 2022 alone, bringing the total for last year to 46.6 million. But it appears to be more than a trend, as monthly resignations have not dipped below 4 million since May of 2021. Hospitality is the industry most impacted, followed by business services, retail trade, healthcare, and manufacturing. We're deep into the winter months, but for many, it feels like anything but a winter wonderland. Marianne Rafferty has a look at how low snowfall and higher temperatures are spelling trouble for skiers and snowplows.
It may be winter, but for portions of the U.S. and popular winter vacation destinations overseas, a lack of snow and unusually warm temperatures have some ski and snowplow businesses concerned.
Climate change is really scary. I also am nervous for the people who make their lives in the winter mountains, and their livelihoods are very much connected to tourism, and if there's no ski, there's probably not as much tourism.
In Switzerland, thermometers recently reached a record of 70 degrees, stripping famous slopes of their flakes and forcing the ones that haven't closed to heavily rely on artificial snow. Ski resort employees are noticing a dip in customers.
We have a decrease in usage of around 35 to 40% if we compare it to last year, which was a very good year.
While those showing up to ski are questioning the fate of their hobby.
My children are learning to ski, and the thought crossed our mind, is it worth it to put them on the slope and make them live these joyful moments now, when we don't know what it will be in the future?
In the U.S., a similar story with Atlantic City, Baltimore, New York City, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. receiving no measurable snow so far.
It's scheduled to be warm for probably the rest of the month, at least above average. So we're not anticipating much work until probably February.
To date, forecasters are also noticing below average snowfall along the East Coast from Maine down to North Carolina.
Still ahead, would you zap yourself with electricity to get into shape? We'll look at a new trend gaining popularity among people who want to get in shape fast. Schools in Texas are pushing toward legislative changes to benefit teachers and school safety. Damali Keith has more.
We're all very concerned about the nationwide teacher shortage, and so we're hoping that our legislators will see this as a priority.
Here in Fort Bend ISD, where the starting teacher salary is $59,500, the district is 175 teachers short.
We've always been one of the higher paying districts, and especially across the state. But we want to see that definitely into the going over the 60 and into the low 60s.
I think they deserve it. They watch our kids all day. They teach them all day. So I think that would be good.
The district is also planning to cut its budget by $47 million.
It will affect probably some positions, but there will be no one who is without a job.
Now with the school shootings and so many things going on, that's my biggest concern. It's just safety and knowing that my kid's okay.
Dr. Whitbeck says Fort Bend ISD just applied for a grant for police body shields. In addition to equipment, they're also looking at new safety technology.
Like one app I want to bring on is the app that tells the parents where the bus is. We could have apps to get even more sophisticated to know where the child is. Are they on a bus? Are they in a hall?
More importantly, she says, is the pay for district police officers.
We need to be competitive in our salary, competitive with the other entities, the cities, the sheriff's department.
Current funding from the state is $6,100 per student.
I'd want to see it getting close to at least 7,000.
Dr. Whitbeck is scheduled to speak twice to state lawmakers during the upcoming legislative session, even as she makes it a priority to find out from teachers what they need other than more money.
It's also about the atmosphere in which they work. And do they have a principal that's listening? Do they have a superintendent that's listening?
A new study says gardening can improve your health. The University of Colorado study, commissioned by the American Cancer Society, says gardening helped people eat more fiber and get more physical activity, and that's helped reduce cancer risks. Gardeners ate about 25 to 38 grams of fiber each day, compared to 16 grams consumed by the average adult. Gardening also increased physical activity, which helped drop stress and anxiety. And community gardening allowed people to create new relationships, which in turn improved mental health. U.S. birth rates continue to decline, extending a trend. A lower percentage of women between the ages of 15 to 44 gave birth from 2015 to 2019 compared to 2011 to 2015. There were also fewer men who became fathers when comparing the same time frames. Easy access to birth control, an increase in women in higher education, later marriages, and the expense of children are all factors in this downward trend. A shocking new trend is gaining popularity among people looking to get into shape fast. Whole-body electrical muscle stimulation, also known as EMS, requires users to put on a suit which receives electrical impulses from a machine to intensify any workout. A 20-minute session with an EMS suit is advertised to be as effective as 2.5 hours of regular strength training. A small study in November showed EMS could benefit the heart, but regulators do warn the equipment can be dangerous, creating risks of muscle damage or burns. Stay with us. We'll have more after the break. We want to leave you with a smile. The 2023 Girl Scout cookie season is officially underway, and there's a new flavor to enjoy. The Raspberry Rally is similar to the always popular Thin Mints, but includes a raspberry filling instead. Boxes will be available to buy online only. You can also order other popular favorites, including Samoas and Adventurefuls, until April. And if those new raspberry ones are half as good as Thin Mints, we've got another great treat on our hands. I'm Scott Beadle. Thanks so much for watching.